Sing me a song of a lass that is gone.
Hello and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Kaylee and this is a video in a video series about the amazing book by Diana Gabaldon, Go Tell the Bees That I Am Gone. This is a chapter by chapter review video series, so if you have not read this book or you do not want to know what is happening up to this chapter, then please click away. This is not the video series for you. But if you're okay with spoilers and you're okay with discussing what has happened in this chapter, then stick around. This is definitely the video for you. So today's video is about chapter 22, Ashes, Ashes. Now again, this is a shorter chapter, which is killing me, all these short chapters, but it is a very interesting one indeed. So this chapter is told by Claire and she is currently with Roger. Now, this chapter, I believe, is set in the time of space from the previous chapter where Bree and Jamie are off gathering gunpowder. I believe Claire and Roger were doing this sort of in that time period while they were getting the gunpowder. Again, I say this is a short chapter, but it was... there's some funny little moments in this chapter that I think, this is going to be funny. So let's just jump straight in and talk about it. So Claire and Roger are together, as I said, and they're heading towards the Cunningham house. Now, we know my thoughts on Mrs. Cunningham. I think she's evil to the bone. But some comments on other videos have really led me to believe maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she's going to have some sort of like, I don't know. I just don't know now. The comments have sort of swayed me a little bit to think I'm being too harsh towards Mrs. Cunningham, but I'm going to find out soon enough as I continue to read. But as I said, they're going to the Cunninghams. Now, we knew in a previous chapter that Rachel had suggested if Claire or Roger spoke to Captain Cunningham without Mrs. Cunningham in the room or sort of able to have a contributing factor to the conversation, that they would have more chance sort of winning Captain Cunningham over in whatever they were discussing, because Mrs. Cunningham is not Claire's #1 fan. So basically, Claire was coming along with Roger to be a distraction. So they had set up a plan that whilst Roger and Captain Cunningham were talking, Claire would distract Mrs. Cunningham by thanking her for her gift that she had previously brought, apologizing for Mandy's little outburst, and sort of giving her some gifts as well, but more importantly, taking her out of the situation. So the men could excuse themselves and go talk about manly things, and Claire and Mrs. Cunningham could, talk medicinal things or about whatever they wanted. We all know, just plain clear distraction so Roger can talk to Captain Cunningham. Now, when they arrive, they discover that Mrs. Cunningham is actually not there anyway, which is kind of perfect. They don't have to have that awkward interaction with her. But Claire does say that she will go down to the stream where she is meant to be and find her and thank her and all the jazz, have the conversation. Now, this leaves Roger and Captain Cunningham together in the home, which is perfect for Roger to just come out pretty much straight away with, well, how's this? I know you're a preacher. I'm willing to split the preacher responsibilities if you agree to help build or rebuild the dwelling for it to happen in. Now, Captain Cunningham was very shocked. And I mean, it didn't happen that quickly. It was a little bit more drawn out, and there were little things of information, like little tidbits of information leaked, to sort of feel the groundwork and see if Roger was just going to be like, get out of my house, or if he was going to be accepting. So it didn't come out as quickly as obviously as I've just said. But obviously Captain Cunningham was extremely intrigued by this conversation. And it also came out during this like little tidbit bit about the Masonic Lodge and how Jamie is actually, the, what do you call that? Not the headmaster, but the guy at the top of the lodge. He is, in that position. And that shocked Captain Cunningham as well. Captain Cunningham was really he was getting a lot of sort of like boom, boom, boom shock factors for himself. But he took it all really, really well. Now, whilst this conversation was happening, we also have Claire down at the stream. And she had, in fact, found Mrs. Cunningham. Claire, though, she realised as she was approaching Mrs. Cunningham that she was in fact having a bathe in the stream. So she sort of like stopped, halted, and obviously didn't want to interrupt her, didn't, don't want to impose on you that you're naked in the stream. And she sort of just loiters around in the background for a few moments until Mrs. Cunningham was like, this could be the time that I enjoy myself a lot more in the stream. And Claire sort of knows, okay, I can't hang around and wait for this to finish. I'm going to head back to the dwelling. Now, I found this entire situation hilarious. Only for the point of, okay, Mrs. Cunningham, she's not an evil old witch. I don't know why this put that thought in my mind, but it's like, okay, no, she's a normal everyday person. She's just down there enjoying herself at the stream. She's having a bath and doing her business and whatever else. And I love that Claire finally accepted, I can't loiter around here while this woman is doing this. I need to just give her her privacy, let her have her moment. I'm going to head straight back to, Roger and Captain Cunningham. But it was nice that, it showed a bit more of a human side to Mrs. Cunningham, because like I said, between that and the comments of some of the videos, I'm starting to think I've judged her too harshly. But we'll see. We'll see how it plays out with Mrs. Cunningham. But of course, the conversation is still continuing between Captain Cunningham and Roger, and it is pretty much agreed upon that, they're going to help each other build the new dwellings for the church, or for them to preach in. Then along comes Rachel. Now, I love Rachel. She is so just direct. This is how it is. Like, I love her. I love the character of Rachel. And she's arrived and said, well, hang on, what about us? What about my friend meetings? And basically didn't ask, didn't put it out there as a question, came in and said, well, I know you guys, have the mornings of Sundays or whatever. We're going to help build the establishment as well. And on Sundays, the first or whatever, however she was wording it, we're going to have our meetings as well. We will work around your timing though. Obviously, we know you guys have a specific time frame. We can do it at any part of the day, but we'll do that. And then she left. I absolutely loved it. She was so assertive, but in a non-threatening way. That is the way that women needed to be back in that era, I believe. Just, come in, say your piece without question, leave. Try not to get killed for having an opinion though. But you know what I mean? Like, I love that Rachel is this swift, confident, precise character. And I just love it. I absolutely love it. She reminds me so much of Claire, but from that era. And just, yeah, Rachel she's a high prospect character. Lots of things are going to happen in this book with Rachel, I think. I really think she's going to be a pivotal character later on. A little conversation that I did forget to mention though was one about Christmas, and this was between Claire and Roger. Now, I am loving that they are talking about all the different ways that they've had Christmas. So Claire was saying she's pretty much never had a Christmas that was traditional and normal until Brie came along and she was back with Frank. And then they would have the traditional English Christmas, and Frank sort of took charge. He was in charge of gift wrap. He was in charge of decorating because it was really his realm and something that he enjoyed. Then obviously we have the different aspects of what would be happening at the Ridge, and Roger says, well, the kids, they're old enough. They remember Christmas happening back when we were in the future. So Christmas kind of needs to happen. I love that because it brought to me that they're going to have a Christmas celebration, and I'm going to envision it, and it's going to be so special. I can't wait for it to happen. And I suppose because Christmas is just 10 minutes ago for all of us, it's nice that I'm envisioning it. I wish I'd read up to this chapter just before Christmas so that I had it sort of in my mind and it was more Christmas feel. Especially if we have a dedicated Christmas chapter. That would have been lovely to have. If I could have been smart enough to read that right around Christmas time, that would have been lovely. I'd love to know what you're thinking about all of the characters that we've met so far in this book. Are there any that stand out to you that you're sort of like, oh, you're going to be good, you're going to be bad? Or am I just picking on certain characters that I've just beelined for and I'm overreacting a little bit on their things, like Mrs. Cunningham? Do you have that where you read a book and you pinpoint on something and you just stick on it until it sort of plays out? Or is that just me? Again, if you've liked this video, please hit like. If you have not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing. It really does help the channel grow. I will see you very shortly for the next video in this chapter by chapter review series. So until then, have a great day. Bye.
Sing me a song of a lass that is gone.